Ray, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Let's try that again. I'm back. This is Tech Coach Ralph, and we are in tonight for another Software Explorations. Tonight, we are going to be going over kind of the page object model, but I want to focus on a particular package that was recommended to me. It was left in a comment. I mentioned it last week, and it was the Python package called Citronella, which is a way of implementing the page object model. So we will get into that tonight. But before we do that, let's go over some housekeeping. All right. What is the housekeeping for tonight? Let's see. All right. So, first of all, I want to thank our latest subscribers, like we always do. So, between our show on Wednesday, our Q&A show, which was very fun, very entertaining, and today we got 3 more subscribers, which we are now at 53. So I hope that we are adding value in everything that we're putting out, whether it is the live stream for Software Explorations, where you can follow along on either infrastructure or automation coding type stuff, or if it's the questions and answers series that we're having, where we are answering different questions that we source around the IT industry. Focused mostly on QA right now, but we will expand that in the future. Or if it's the shorts that we're releasing or the pre-recorded content, we do have the Bug Bite, a very special episode of the Bug Bite coming tomorrow. I said that one is a premiere, so look out for that. Click the notify button to get notified of that. But yeah, so we are putting out tons of content, and hope it's adding value. And feel free to email me, comment on the videos, comment in the chat, whatever it is that you want to do. Let's see. Let me do one thing. All right, we're good here. And I'm going to do this. Fix one thing. Okay, got that one going. All right, and that's a bit of housekeeping over here to fix some things on my end. Okay, put a comment. See how we look. All right. I should have do that one more time. Put in the wrong spot. Hold on. Hold on. Bear with me. It's been a long day, but I am excited to be here. Put it here. So drop your questions in the chat, and I will answer them on our breaks, which I'll go over in a few. That's what I wanted. Okay, cool. So let's go over our housekeeping. Okay, so we got through. All right, so now the show schedules, as I've mentioned before, Sunday afternoons, we have our software explorations, where lately these past few Sundays, it's been focused on a more of an infrastructure based. It's gonna kind of be that again this weekend, but we're going to be implementing device farm into our Python Selenium wire. And then we have our Tuesday nights, which is our Q&A session. Might be my favorite night of the week because I get to answer questions that different people have around the industry. And for people who are upcoming in the industry, especially in the QA engineering, QA automation realm, I get to answer those questions and share it with you guys. And then Thursday nights, which is tonight, we have software explorations. And lately it's been more focused on the code base, so software base. So, and that's what we're going to be doing tonight with our Citronella, in particular implementation. I'll go into some more details about the Citronella. And then we have our pre-recorded schedule, right? We have our Mondays candid conversations where we go and we talk about different situations. I've had some about like interview reflections. I've had just different topics, and there's going to be more coming out. And if there's anything in particular that you'd want me to cover, then let me know, and I can definitely prepare that for candid conversation as well. Have on Wednesdays our software exploration guides. So they're like walkthroughs. Yesterday we had a Python one come out where it's part one of how to get started with Selenium and Python. This one was more focused on Python. We had our live stream series, which was doing Python and Java side by side, but I thought doing them individually would help for people who wanted to focus on one. And then we have the Bug Bite on Fridays, which with that show we review different software related bugs and defects that have really hurt companies, and even so it hurts hurts the companies, it hurts the customers, and it's just like some of them are catastrophic, and some of them are very costly. And to be honest, all bugs are very costly, but they cost in different ways. So tomorrow we have one coming out. I already said it as a premiere. It was worked real hard on that one. It was hard to do actually, and it's about the Ocean Gate Titan submersible implosion. So look out for that. It's a really good video. Worked hard on that one. So that is our schedule for our live streams and our pre-recorded release, content release. All right. So before we actually get into the actual implementation, if you have not yet liked the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions, comments, feel free to chat or comment on the video. All right. Or in any video that you watch from me. So now we are going to get started, and this is the format that we're going to do. We're going to do our 20 minutes of work, 5 minutes break. On the first break, I have something that I want to do. It's pretty special. I wouldn't say special, but it's pretty cool. So, and then for the subsequent breaks, we can do the same of reviewing job postings. So there's going to be 20 minutes work session, 5-minute break, and then we will go from there. All right. So before we do that, let me get my screens situated. Okay. So we are going to need a browser. And we are going to need our trusty PyCharm. And just in case you don't know, we are also live on Facebook as well. So if there's anyone watching on Facebook, feel free to drop a comment in the chat or a question, and that will definitely be addressed on our 5-minute breaks as well. Okay, term. So let me see. Which project are we going to convert to the page object model? All right, so we have that up. So let's get our clock started. So timer, and we're going to do 20 minutes. Okay, we are on our way, but before we get going, we need something. What do we need? We need some energy. Can anybody share their energy?
Please offer me your energy. I ask of you, please.
Let's do it. All right, feeling pumped. Okay, so you've heard me talk about the page object model for quite some time now, and I always mentioned it. I think in the Python and Java series that I touched on it. I showed it. I gave some explanation, but let's talk about it in particular right now. What is the page object model, right? So it's not a framework, but instead it's a style of implementation, right? And what we use it for in I'll reference specifically to like automation and Selenium, but you can use it for pretty much anything. I've used it for like API tests and everything like that. But it is a way of structuring your code, your automation, your automated tests, so it can be easier to find certain bits of code, of locators and everything like that. And it's very organized where you say, okay, everything that is related to a particular page, such as like the home page, is going to be in this class. Everything that's related to, let's say, the login page is in this class. And that way it is easier to find certain bits of code, certain locators, certain methods. It's easier to find that, but also because it's more organized, you can update the code in one file, in one class, and then everywhere that it's being used in all your tests, it can be it's updated there. So you don't have to go into like a million different files and make changes there, right? So we'll review the page object model, get a more clear explanation of it, and then we can go into the code to start implementing it. What I'll probably do, now that I think about it, is for Python, maybe the next few software explorations, I don't know if we'll move it to Sundays, this series, or if we'll keep it on Thursdays. We'll see. But the point is, what I'll end up doing is some different ways of implementing the page object model, which I would also include the page factory for Selenium and Python. Oh, look at that. Look at that. You know what? Welcome, Eclore, for being a subscriber. And yes, we are going to be implementing your Citronella package, Python package, tonight on one of I think I'm doing it on the DoorDash. So great to have you here. All right, so let's continue. So yeah, we're going to review what the page object model is, and then we're going to look in particular to the Citronella one, which I must say, Citronella is a very cool name because down here in South Florida, we are loaded with mosquitoes, and Citronella is a plant that is a good deterrent for mosquitoes. So I was already intrigued when I first saw the name of the package. So that being said, let me pull up some stuff here. Okay, so let me shift this way a bit. And we are switching to here. All right. So what is the page object model? Page object model, also known as POM, a design pattern, right? Design pattern in Selenium that creates an object repository for storing all web elements. It helps reduce code duplication and improves test case maintenance. In page object model, consider each web page as an consider each web page of an application as a class file. All right. So that's pretty much what it is. And let's see if we can look at this. What is this right here? Can I get it bigger? That's pretty small. If I get a bigger image. Mm-hmm. All right, so this is so this picture is using a Java example, but the concept stays the same across whatever language you're using to implement, right? So if we look at here, we have our pages, and this is the part where the page object model comes into play, right? So let's say the first page is the home page, the second page is the I don't know, login page. This one is the register page, and then you can have like a logged in page where we have like account information, whatever, right? So now the test base is that's where you could set up your web driver, anything you need in before, right? And then our test classes, that should be limited to the actual tests that are happening, right? So that would have like the test cases, the steps that you're following, and everything like that. So what it does is it calls these pages, it implements these pages into here, right? Into the test class, the functional test, and then those are your test cases that are running. So all the details about the pages are here. So you can say in here you can say, all right, I need the first page, and inside the first page I can click on the login button, and then once it clicks on the login button, I should be on the second page, which is our login page. And then when you click on when you enter your username and password, that action is coming from this. The code is in here for like clicking on the for entering your username and password, clicking on the login button, clicking on like forgot password, something like that, right? And then once you click on login, then it could take you to like the logged in page, which would be pulling up from one of these pages here, right? And you can have as many of them for as many pages as possible that you have. So one thing that I do, right, when I'm implementing the page object model, which I always do, I haven't done it inside of what we've done so far because I wanted to show like how to get started right away with writing Selenium code, right? However, to do proper automation, you do want to use the page object model just to be more organized. And honestly, nowadays, if you're not using the page object model, jobs that you apply for aren't going to take you seriously. Okay, so that's that. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, pretty much the way that I use it, I have the page, I have everything in there, and then I say, call this page into my test class, and I'll pass whatever parameters into doing it. But we're gonna see it, all right? So, without further ado, let's look up. Okay, so without further ado, let's look up the Python package called Citronella. All right, there he goes right here. You see the latest release. All right, latest version. Released about 20 hours. So he is, or she is actively working on it. Let's see. Let me open this up a bit. And let's read some details. So WebDriver extension with page object wrapper. And I read this a little bit when I first got the comment and I was looking into it. Looks pretty cool. But let me go. 7,000 downloads. That's real cool. I like to see packages that are being used, because the more that it's used, the more likely it is that they'll be maintained, because like if no one's using it, then the person who created it might not have that much interest in maintaining it. So, and that's not to say, because there's been other packages that sometimes there's just not no capacity to support them. But yeah, I like to see things that we create, especially things that are QA related that we create, that they're being used and they're being found valuable by other members of the community. So WebDriver extension with page object wrapper. These screenshots are too small, but let's look at this example. So let's read through the code. You're importing. So in this example, they're using PyTest, which I like PyTest. Okay, so here is content page, import content page, and test class test navigation. So saying go to pypy.org and then web.page for content page, which that's probably being defined in the next one. So this one is probably showing the navigation menu, webpage.homepage.help button.click. All right, let's see. Even though this module, let's see here. Even though this module is mainly designed for the page object model, it can also be used without it for quick prototyping or mockups. And that's a good way of explaining what we've been doing the past few days, is like mocking up, quick prototyping, just giving a good understanding of like how to get started. So like if we look through this code, it's pretty straightforward automation code. So I'm using web page here. Okay. Let's see. So looking at this, like what we've done in our, again, going through it, we didn't have, so this is part of the Citronella package right here. So in there, he's defining passing the driver, he's passing the weight in there, whether he wants to log her on or off. And then, so then now we're using web.driver to do all the navigation, but it's setting up some stuff in the background, okay, so here we go, web.locate. So before, okay, I see it. I'm starting to see it now, which is really cool. So let me pull up our code here, right? You can see the difference. Which I like what I'm saying, you know? So if we compare the two, so let's say this driver is what I have as browser here, right? And it says, so here, browser.get is where they have here web.driver.get, and you're going to the website. Okay, cool. And now we see a little bit of difference. And here it's using the Citronella web page to say web.locate and then by ID search get element. While on ours we're using straight Selenium code, we're saying browser.find element by ID, send keys. Okay, so I'm seeing the difference here. But the thing is, as it said here, this is a quick for prototyping or mockups. So that's what's being done here. So all right, there are two. So let's keep it. So this is how to install it. We're going to install it in a little bit. And there are two modules imported in this package. The first is for this conf test.py. Okay. And then second is for the page object models. Button. All right. I like the fact that there's Appium also implemented in this. So Appium is used for mobile testing, and you can configure that to whether you're doing on physical devices. The code that you would write for automating on Appium, right? It's similar to if you're doing it on a web browser, like using like the regular Selenium, but you can also use like that code when you send your test. Let's say you send it to the device farm, which we're going to be working on Sunday. Let's say you send it to the device farm. That same code will also work running on the devices on the device farm or in Sauce Labs, anywhere you go to use it. So that's cool. All right, so I like the fact that I see Appium in here. Remember when Appium first came out, and it wasn't really it wasn't that popular, but it has grown exponentially. All right, so page object design and strategy. There are two ways to create a page object for web page. Straightforward approach. This method requires importing the page object for each test. All right, so let's see how this works. Class, home, auth button, return UI. Okay. All right, so then web.page equals homepage. So that would be this. And then click on the auth button, and then web.page equals login. And then you can use the stuff that are on the login page. Okay. All right. Lazy loading approach. This method is slightly more complex, but offers the benefit of lazy loading. Not sure. Let's see what lazy loading is. I'm not familiar with that term. Let me see. Might be something I know, but I'm not familiar with the term. Lazy loading. Let me see. Is that the let me see. What is lazy loading? Some modern websites now use lazy loading, also known as progressive loading, instead of loading everything on the page at once. Items load as you scroll. Okay. I didn't know that was the name used for it, lazy loading. So it's like when you're scrolling down a page, and as you scroll down, it loads more content. We saw that on I think we saw that on DoorDash. I think it was DoorDash that had it where as you were scrolling down, which we're doing it on DoorDash anyway, so if it is, we'll see it. But as you're scrolling down the page, you would see you see more items start to pop up, right? So cool. All right, perfect. Not a problem at all. All right, let's keep reading a bit, and then the usage, args driver, WebDriver, args WebDriver wait, number of seconds, default is 10. Okay, and then method driver returns Selenium WebDriver object, locate by value. Okay, when you use locate, you put the by, you put the value. Page object setter, getter, WebDriver wait, ready state, execute JavaScript, document ready state manually, default timeout, sleep. All right, cool. All right, so that's reviewing that. All right, what I'm gonna do is I am going to create a new branch. Zoom in on this a bit. And All right, so let's do a new branch. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to say get checkout -b, and the branch name will be TCR live Citronella implementation.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
All right. We are on break. Let me just create this branch and we can take our, what? Not a get. How's that not a get? Okay. Get init. All right. So we're going to do, let me see. Get add. So what I'll do, I'll commit that get add, and then we'll do that and get commit initial commit of Python Selenium WebDriver walkthrough on DoorDash. Okay, cool. And then, not that many. Okay. And then what we're going to do as well, we're going to say get checkout -b for branch, and we're going to say PCR live Citronella implementation. And all right, so now we're on that branch. Perfect. So it is our break time. All right, cool. So let's see here. Oh, I didn't know I could do that. Cool. Awesome. Let's see. So one more time for Hey Clorb subscribing to the channel as we review this Citronella package. So that's totally awesome. Great to have you here. Let me start our break timer and we will get going. So let me check the chat. I do not see anything in there. Oop, nothing in there. Look at Facebook. I do not understand Facebook at all. I haven't used it in a very long time, but I find it kind of weird the way that it works. But it is what it is. Let's see. Yep, nothing here. So here we go. What I wanted to do was there was this on Reddit asking for resume feedback. So I am going to look at that with everyone here and give some feedback on the resume. If I was to receive this resume, what I'd be looking for. So let me share. All right. So the title of this was resume feedback, trying to move up from test analyst to a software developer in test or software test engineer role. All right. And he posted, or she posted their resume And let's see. So let me make this, let me click on it so it can be bigger. And then let me, all right. Okay, I think that's good. So let's take a look at this resume. So the technical expertise is C#, SQL, and 4 tests. Experience with C++, Java, Python, JavaScript, and R. Funny enough, I just heard of R the other day from one of my jiu-jitsu buddies who said they are learning R for data analysis, I believe he said, or data analytics, something like that. All right, tools: Selenium, Silk Test, Azure DevOps, Windows Hyper-V, Visual Studios. All right, version control: Git Kraken. Testing types facilitated: functional, unit, integration system, non-functional, stress, load, performance, regression, smoke, sanity. All right, cool. So now professional experience. All right, so let's read through it and then I'll give some feedback as a whole after that. So professional experience: test automation analyst. Never heard of that position before, but from December 2019 to present, maintain and run a large suite of automated integration tests responsible for functional and non-functional regression testing. Document, track, and communicate testing success and failures using Azure DevOps. Collaborate with developers and other stakeholders to determine scope and source of test failures. Rewrite legacy manual and automated tests into more maintainable, independent automated tests. Add to and improve existing functionality of test libraries to better support current and planned testing. All right, so that is the test automation analyst position, which that one seems to be more relevant to where he wants to go. Okay, logistics analyst. February 2000. So for a year, so for the test automation analyst, they've been in there for December 2019. About 3.5 years they've been in this position. Okay. All right. So let's take a quick look at logistics analyst to see if we even need to go that. Work closely with several separate departments to coordinate timely technician arrival on site. Using Oracle Business Intelligence software to aggregate data and compile reports, allowing the department to quantitatively track various key metrics. And load planner, track departed loads to ensure on-time delivery. All right, various part-time super. Okay, cool. And education, BA in East Asian languages and cultures, specialization in Chinese. Okay.
Get a move on. Back to work. Chop, chop. Let's go. Come on. Get a move on. Back to work. Back to work. Back to work.
Okay. Jeez. And in graduating in, so you got a BA in 2016 in East Asian languages and cultures, specialization in Chinese, and then now currently in school, graduating in 2023 with the BS in computer science. Okay, so you're graduating. In about 6 months you'll be graduating. Okay, cool. Okay, so what we are going to do is on the next break, we will break down the actual resume, and now that we've read it, and can give some feedback what I would recommend to do to this resume, and as someone who interviews for QA positions, what I would be looking for. So we will do that. But before we get back to the code, I want to say thank you to Beatrice for your comment. Great content as always. Thank you very much. Thank you, Beatrice. Appreciate you watching and for being a subscriber. Okay, so let's move back to implementing Citronella. making the page object model easier and protecting us from mosquitoes. All right. So, okay. So here we go. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to scroll back up to be able to actually start the implementation and install. So first thing we're going to do, I'm going to do it through the Python packages like I always do. Citronella. Okay, there we go. There goes our Citronella. I am going to click install. And that will be installed to my... All right, so that's installed. And let's see here. We are, all right, so now we have that installed, and let's go back over here. And let me, because do I have any assertions? I think I do have some assertions in here. Let me scroll down to the bottom. Yeah, I have one assertion here, which we can use with that. I don't want to introduce PyTest and then we'll have to go through that. What we'll do, we'll save PyTest for another time, but I don't think we need PyTest in order to implement this. So before we even get into implementation, this is important. Let's walk through what our code here is doing. Okay, let me make this bigger and let me minimize that. Okay, so at the top, we're doing our imports for the different packages and classes and things like that we're going to be using. So that's what this part is up here, which we're going to be importing Citronella soon. Okay, so then here we're setting up our Chrome, our Chrome options where, so this right here is saying to keep Chrome open after the test run. Right here, we're setting up our browser using so this right here is using our WebDriver manager, so we don't need to download the binaries locally. Here we're saying go to the DoorDash website. And once we get onto the DoorDash website, once the page loads, we're going to be entering in our address inside of, and we have to find the element that has ID of home address autocomplete, enter the address, and let's do our timer. Let's do 15 minutes. I'm not sure how much time. Oh, go at 20, no worries. Okay, so enter the, oops, heavy fingers. Okay. All right, so enter this address inside once we find the element that has this ID, and then click the button, whatever button this is that we're locating by CSS selector. And then we want to click on the fast food icon. And once we filter by fast food, we want to click on the first restaurant that displays. Then we want to validate that the restaurant name is displayed. We're not saying any particular restaurant name because we do not know what restaurant is going to be found, but we do want to say when you click on the first restaurant that you're making sure that it's actually loading the restaurant. All right. So, and this might actually be a bad selector now that I'm thinking about it. This main.h1, it seems like it could be on any page. So that might be a bad selector. Looking back at it. But let's not worry about that right now. We can review that another time. So restaurant name is displayed. And if it's not, oh, and I'm saying also print out the restaurant name. So we're verifying the restaurant name is displayed. And if it fails, then it's going to say that the restaurant name is not displayed, give you that message. But then I also want to print out the restaurant name. So here is where I implemented the scroll when we're trying to get to the menu items. And then once you get to the menu items, and I use JavaScript for that. But I'm sure there's better ways to do it. Okay, so browser.find element by CSS selector. So click on the first popular item. And so here we're saying, before you click on add to cart, make sure that the cart is 0. There's no items in the cart. And we continue. And I'll post the GitHub URL once I push it after the show. This commented. So let's ignore this commented out code. All right, browser find element by ID. Did I have a... Okay, so that's to add the item to the cart apparently. And then once you add it to the cart, it's going to have some options. So you click save button for the options. And then you add it to the cart officially. Then here we're verifying that the cart got updated so that we know that it went from 0 to 1. Cool. So that being said, we read over our code, but the problem is this is like, if I was doing a if I have to interview somebody and when we do like the technical project and this is the code that they provide, I'm going to just say absolutely not on this application because this is not professional. So the question is, Tech Coach Ralph, why are you showing us unprofessional code? Because this code right here was not meant for you to it's not meant for you to do in a work environment. It's meant for you to learn.
Message.
All right. It's meant for you to learn how to get started with automation. Okay. So that's the point that that's what we're doing here. But now we are going to refine our code and we're going to refine it using the page object model, which is what we all should be using. And we're going to do it tonight in particular using Citronella. Maybe next week or on another Sunday or something. Soon we're going to try a different page object model package. And I'll even do the traditional way that is done in Python. I personally don't like it. It feels clunky to me. Like I think the way that it's done in Java, like by standard. Well, I won't even say in Java because I use the page factory mostly in Java, which is it's the page object model, but it also includes the page factory. But I would say that the standard way that I've seen it is more closely like more of how I've seen it. Like I'm not a fan of it. It feels clunky to me, and that's why we're definitely going over Citronella tonight. We are going to go over another one that I saw. I forgot the name of it, but we're going to go over that. And then there's also one called Selenium Page Factory, which I thought was pretty cool as well. There's something I used it a few times, but there's something about it that I'm not crazy about. But I will be looking to see if there is a way around it. But that's not for tonight. So tonight we are focused on Citronella. All right. So what are we going to do first? We already have Citronella installed, and I am going to. I need a sound effect for that, like when you just like do a sudden movement, you know, like I don't know. Maybe I can make my own. Anyways, okay, so let's get started with this. Let's not waste any more time. Let me see. So I'm looking at the documentation, but I'm going to modify it like the way that I would normally do it. So from pages.content pages. Let me see. Just looking at the documentation a little bit more to make sure I'm not missing anything. I'm not exactly sure what the content page is. I wish wouldn't it be awesome if Hey Chlor was in the chat so we can interact about questions that I have about this? If you are there, drop a comment because there's some questions about the documentation. But great work though, great work, must say. All right, so let's get started. The first thing, I think it's importing from here. All right, well, we are going to figure it out because what we do is we explore software. We are software explorers, right? Right? We are software explorers. Yup. All right. So do this. What I'm gonna do first is I'm going to keep this in the background. I am going to create a package. I'm going to create a new Python package, and I'm going to call that pages. Yeah, I'll call that pages. And I am going to, what way do I want to do this? Let me think, because I have a way that I want to do it, but it might not be the best way to do it to show. So what I was thinking was, oh, look at that. Awesome. Let's see. You may start at page object design strategy for this case. Page object design strategy. Let me search it. Page object. All right, here we go. Nice. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. Perfect. Oh, thank you for being in the chat. Really appreciate it. All right, so here we are. We are going to, so straightforward approach. Okay, we're going to try the straightforward approach, and then maybe if we have time tonight, or maybe another time, we'll look at the lazy approach, the lazy loading approach. But let's start here. So what I want to do, and I'll modify it just a little bit because I like to, being that I'm coming from a Java background, I always would have my classes separated. I know in Python that I'll see like the classes together. It's just I haven't wrapped my mind around that yet. But let's do it that way. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to go to pages, and I'm going to create a new Python file, and I'm going to call it home page. Not just home. I don't like putting page because they're in the pages package. I find it like repetitive to put like home page, login page, all of that. Or even like homepage POM or home POM, whatever. All right. So now we are doing, so we need from me, close this out, bring that over here. All right, perfect. So we say from Selenium, import WebDriver. And we say from Selenium, WebDriver.common.by, import by. Then from Citronella, import web page UI. Cool. And then I'm going to do class of home page. Cool. And all right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to expand this real quick so I can put my home page, or I put my DoorDash code side by side with my put it side by side with my actual test case, right? So if you remember in the diagram or the whatever you call those flow charts, it had like the test case and then it had the page, the different pages, right? So what we're doing now is we're implementing that, and we're implementing that with Citronella, where we're going to extract all of these here, right, into a home for them. So think about it as a let's say you have a house, right? Here's how I'll break it down. You have a house, and in each room there are different you have different things in each room, right? So we are going to categorize like what goes in the home room, what's going inside of the login room, which those are pages. So probably not the best explanation, but if you follow along, you'll see what I mean. So, okay, so we have, so on the home page, we have the home address, which is an ID. And I want to see, so, all right, so let's say the button. So, all right, so let's do dev, and this would be, let me pull up DoorDash real quick. Let's see what was that. It is delivery address field. So all right, and let me see, go back over here. And so, and then here we're going to do return UI. Okay, well, here we go. And then by.id. And I guess I just copied here, but let's say we take the home page address. So we're gonna do it side by side, right? We are going to do it where we put the code inside of our page object model class, and then we're going to implement it here so we can incrementally do the updates, and we can see it working in real time. We don't want to just do a bunch of code, and then we run and then we come into issues, right? We're going to implement it, run, implement, run, implement, run. Kind of like the test-driven development practice of always refactoring, and you run. So if something breaks, you can undo or you can fix it really quickly before you get too far and everything's a mess. All right. So with that being said, we have this. Let me always get so I don't like when. All right, so now we're good here. So here now, if we jump back over to our jump back over here, and now, all right, so what we're going to do, we're going to import. Okay, I see it now. We're going to import the home page into. So what I'm going to do, I am going to, after I add it here, we're going to do web homepage. So let's do home equals home page. See here. I gotta import it. Import homepage. And we are going to say, do I have to pass anything to it? Oh. So, okay, what we're going to do, we're going to do it here, and then we're going to add more. We're going to add a method to here. Just follow along, all right? So we have this here, and do I need to pass anything to it? Let me see. Okay, so here we are. So here, we also need to import Citronella in here. So let's say little different than the documentation, but I just have I don't know if it's my Java background. It just gives me a different vision of when I'm doing it. So from Citronella, import web page. That's probably, I won't need it there. Okay, so let's start off here. And we are going to say, so let's do that. Let me shorten this out a bit. All right, so we are going to do this here, that there. And I'm going to say right about here. I say, so looking at over here, web.driver.get. Before that, we want it right about here. So web equals web page. And then instead of driver, in our case, we're using browser. So we're going to just call that browser right here. And that's good enough for now. I think everything else is not required to be put in there. And I am going to do okay, web. So I don't need that web.page equals homepage. Okay. I'm with you. So now, so we got this. So now we need to replace this line right here. We need to replace this line. So how are we going to do that? We're going to do web.page dot so we should take this here, enter delivery address. And then I should do dots and keys. Let's see. Let's give it a try. I think I'm on the right track. Let me see. Okay, so if I look down here.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
All right, taking a break. Let's see. Just want to run it before we go on break to see if I'm in the right direction or if I am not. What I see here, it would be the auth button, which is here. And then you click on it. I think I'm headed down the right path. Let me comment this out and let's run it before we go on break, because if it works, then it should do exactly what we were doing before is, well, I guess let's show our expected behavior. And then we will run it with that. So let's give it a run. Downloading our latest version. So right now we're running it without the I don't think it's gonna should it work? Yeah. Okay, so you see it just entered the address here, right? I'm gonna stop it. And now I'm going to comment out. Let me put this here for now. So now I'm going to comment that out, and I'm going to comment this out. And we're going to run it with the Citronella implementation. And what our expected result would be is that it still enters this here. And whether it works or not, we're going to go on break after that, and we will come back and continue this because I find this quite intriguing. This is what software exploration is all about, you know. I did very like I just read through the documentation when I first saw the comment. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It entered it. This is exactly what we wanted it to happen. You know what? You get it. Okay, you get that. You get that. You get that. And you get that. Not much to do to get it implemented. So I think that's super cool. And we're gonna keep going with it. I'm going to extract the method. Extract the method. Like, so this right here, I'm going to see if I can put it inside of the home class or Python file. I don't even know I'm not even 100% sure what they call it in Python yet. Like I said, I just transitioned to Python, but the concepts are the same to me. So what we're going to do is go on our break. I must say, very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Alrighty. All right, cool. Let me see. So the only chat we had was from our good friend Hey Chlor. And we already addressed that, but I will put that up again. You may start at the page object design strategy, which is what we did. And that was awesome. We already see it working. So, and now it only gets, now that we see it working, which that's why I wanted to run it right then and there, just so we can see something. And then once we see it, then we can start to, we get more comfortable with it. Then we can start to see, okay, now that I see something working, I can navigate around it better. I can do this, I can do that. So I'm feeling loose. I'm feeling comfortable. I like it. Thank you so much for that. And thanks for that comment. I really appreciate it because I love to explore, try out new packages. I'm always pushing, all right, let's try this new package. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can do that. And that interaction with you has been great. So appreciate it. All right. So let's put that up here. And let's do let's go back to the resume. I put my timer. That's not the one I want though. I want this time. Okay, cool. So let me pull up the resume again, and I will give you my thoughts on that resume from someone who has been interviewing for years. So let's close this one out. All right, so pulling up the resume back up. Let's make it full screen. All right. Okay, cool. So first thoughts on the resume. I think it's good that you have your technical expertise / skills on top. The reason I say that is because in the past, normally I would have mine all the way at the bottom, but I moved it to the top because I forgot. I think it was a recruiter I was talking to. They gave years ago. They gave advice of moving it to the top gives the person who's reviewing it a quick hit of what you know and so they can see if you have what they're looking for, right? So that's why I think it's good that you have your technical expertise up top. Let me see, Java, Python, JavaScript. I would say this, right? If you could put the level of comfort or knowledge that you have in it, like, and I'm not saying I just have to say, oh, I rate myself a 10 in Java, but like a 5 in Python. But you could say, instead of experience, be a little bit more detailed, right? So let's say, or maybe you don't, I don't know. Like it's hard to say like how much experience you have, because so in your professional experience, you've been working there for 3.5 years, but you don't incorporate any of what you have in your technical expertise with that with the listing of your professional experience. I see you mentioned like Azure DevOps, but that's not giving me details what you're doing with Azure DevOps other than like you track and communicate. Like it's like you just go in there and review results, right? So I'd like a little bit more understanding of your level with like, let's say Selenium. So in your expertise, like give me a good gauge of how much experience you have, right? So if I look at it, it looks like you, from reading this, you should be pretty well versed in C#, SQL, and Fortest, and you have knowledge of C++, Java, Python, and JavaScript, and R, but maybe not too familiar with it. That's what I'm getting from. I sense some ambiguity, but I mean, from reading the technical expertise, I wouldn't disqualify your resume. But if someone was to give me like a little bit more details in the way that they communicate their experience, so I can have a good gauge on what level they're at. Let's say expert in Java and Selenium automation, something like that, right? So just a better way of listing it. What I'll probably do is go over my resume that I use, so that you can get a better understanding of what I mean. And maybe I'll do that pre-recorded, or maybe we'll do that on a live stream. I don't know. But so let's keep going. So then under the professional experience, right? What I would say is it's being listed. So one, the only automation experience or the only QA experience here I see is the test automation analyst, right? But you're listing it out as a list of your tasks and not your accomplishments. So what I mean by that is you want to say different wins that you've had, as opposed to I do this, because it doesn't become any different than any other QA resume. Your resume.
Get a move on, back to work, chop chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work, back to work, back to work.
So pushy, I tell you, so pushy. But what I'm saying is that you want to list your accomplishments in that role, right? So saying that you maintain and run a large suite of automated integration tests responsible for functional and non-functional regression testing, right? So that's what you do. But what I would like to see, like if I'm reading a resume, this is okay. So let's say I have your resume and I have a resume that the person does the same exact thing that you do, but the way that they word it is, let's say verify that 500 automated regression tests run on a daily basis for functional and non-functional regression testing, which saved the company X amount of dollars from potential bugs, right? Something with numbers, something descriptive, something quantifiable, that saying like, okay, you're running you're maintaining 500 scripts, automated tests, right? Something to that extent. Like, so let's say document and track, communicate testing success and failures using Azure DevOps. Word that better so that you're wording that better so that it's showing me like accomplishments that you've done, as opposed to just things that I do on a daily basis. Oh, let me say that. It's a pleasure, and I'm gonna keep working on it. Yeah, thank you for stopping by. I'm going to keep working on it, and hopefully you can like rewatch. I'll put the timestamps in the video. You can rewatch and leave me comments. If you think I could do something better, whatever it is, just let me know. And but I'll probably like work using your package. a little bit more because I think it's really cool. So great job. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you reaching out to me. So thanks. Let me finish this real quick and then we're gonna get back to it. And yeah, so just find a way to list your accomplishments instead of just a task list. All right. So I think I would probably interview you, but I'd probably put you like and if it's for SDZ, I don't see enough in there to say like, oh, this is definitely like a no-brainer. I would want to see some more details about like the coding that you did, some major wins that you've had, some complicated issues that you figured out. Those are what I mean by wins. So yeah, so that's what I see. That's what I think about it. So that's what I would say. I like that the technical expertise is at the top, but for the professional experience, I want to see your victories, your wins, what you have engineered to win. So, like I always say,
the only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
And I don't see how you've won based on your resume. I want to see things that you've done that made people in your company say, "Wow, you're doing a great job." So, yeah, let's get back to it. All right, let me transition out. And we are going to get back to Citronella. Oh my goodness, I can't close this thing. All right, cool. All right, let's get rid of that resume. Okay, so we are transitioning back to our implementation. Okay, so we got this. So I'm happy to see that this worked, right? I'm going to move this over as well. And if I don't finish this tonight, because I don't want to be here for too long, I'll probably go for another half an hour, and then we can always pick this up next week. Because I think transitioning into the page object model is a good thing to do, and we can explore some additional page object model ways of doing it, even the page factory package that I saw for Python. And then we can yeah, spend some time on it. I think it's very important. The same way we spent the time on Java versus Python for Selenium, we can do the same thing for the page object model. Compare some different ways of implementing it, some different packages, even the traditional native package that where I've seen of implementing it for Python, and then we can you know, like that way you have different options. You see what you like best. But for tonight, let's focus on Citronella. Let's go for another half an hour, and then we'll end it, and we can always continue back next week. So what I'm going to do next is, so something, let me open this up real quick. Something I want to do. I'm not going to use enter delivery, because that's returning that. So what I'm going to change this name, right? And here I'm going to change the name too. So one thing I need to look into is with Python is like the what do they call it? Like the autocomplete text, because I would want when I go like this that it would pull from here to give me like the methods that I have in there instead of having to like go back and forth. But that's neither here nor there. Let's do so now the next one we're going to do is def, and that should be in here on DoorDash we have the arrow button. Okay, arrow button to search address. Okay, so we have self, and then here we're going to do, oops, going on my computer? All right, so let's do here, and we say return UI by, and this one we use CSS selector. Let's copy that CSS selector over. All right. And now let's do the same thing for, if we can get past this part, now what I want to do is I'm going to comment this one out. What we're going to do as well, clean up our code. Let's start deleting some stuff, right? So let's do web.page. I'm curious what's inside of here, to be honest with you. No, nothing. Okay. Here's my curiosity. So here, dot, click. All right. So because we're clicking here, we're clicking there. So let's get rid of that. So now, by running this, we should have, so we have our selectors that are on the home page inside of our homepage factory, right? Our homepage object model, right? So we are going to run that real quick, and I'm going to turn this off for now because I don't want to. I just want it to close when it's done running, whether it passes or fails. So as long as it gets past as long as it gets to the list of restaurants, that's all that really matters. So we don't care about what happens after that for now. We don't care about clicking on the fast food icon because the next thing we're going to do is take care of that page. So let's run it. Cool. So that works. Perfect. I love it. Let me stop it. That's all I wanted to see. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go a little bit further, and I'm going to extract. I'm going to extract it a little bit more. So this right here, I like all the code for the homepage or for the pages to be together, right? And then I just have to call, all right, do this on this page, right? So what I mean by that, what I'm going to say is define search for address, right? And I'm going to say we are going to pass a parameter of address. Why not? Right? And we are going to say here, let's see if this is going to work. Self dot delivery address field dot send keys. Is that going to work? Let's see. That should work, I believe. Let me see, address. And then we're going to do self dot arrow button to search address dot click. What I'd expect to happen. Let's see what happens. And then here we're going to comment this out for now. This is what we're doing. We're refactoring, we're running, see if it works. If it doesn't work, we investigate to see why it didn't work. So I'm going to say web.page dot search for address. And in here, all we have to do is pass in that address. So once we have that, So now we should be reducing the code to this is pulling from the home page where it says search for address. One thing I have to check is now once we get to the next page, how do we switch? Okay, so we'll figure that out. Because normally I would say I can do the home page, I can do the login page, all that good stuff. So we'll find out. This is what we're doing. We're exploring the software. We are taking a look at the Citronella package. So let's see. Let me see. Let's give it a run. See if this works. I don't know if it's going to work. In theory, it should, but you know, when you're trying out new things, you never know what's going to happen. So. Okay. So homepage, search for address missing one positional argument. Let's find out what's going on. Let's see here. Oh, let me see something. I might be overusing this a bit. Thinking. Let's see. Because it's saying that I'm missing one positional argument address. But that's because let's see. This is the part that normally confuses me with confuses me with Python. What we're gonna do, let's do this. Let's finish up our let's finish up getting this inside of the page object model for different pages, and we're gonna come back to this part. I'm not 100% sure about it yet to see how that I would want that to work. It's saying that I'm missing a position argument for it, but I would want that whole method to be in here, but I could be doing web.page. Yeah, it has to be in there. I'll come back to that part. I'll come back to it. I have to think about that a little bit more. Because this is how I would do it. Using a different strategy, but I'm not familiar enough with the Citronella yet to see if that's if it would be done the same way. So I'll think about it some more. But let's keep going. Let's focus on what the purpose was, and that was to implement Citronella. So now we are on search results page, right? So we can close down the home page for now. We're going to create another file called search results. And we are going to do the same thing that we did in the home page, actually. So let's, oh my God, my mouse. Okay, let's copy that. Go to the top. Let's, oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Before we do that. Let me just see this real quick. saying something. Let's hold off 1 second. I am seeing something, but I just want to just hold on. So if we go here, let's uncomment this out real quick. There's something that I'm seeing. Leave that open. But I want to go here and let's go split and move to the right. And let me close that up. And we have, the way it'd be web.page. Look up the documentation. Web.page. Okay, I'll come back to it another time. I thought I was seeing something different, but I'm not. So let's let that go. We'll leave that here and we will come here. So we need this code up here. Technically we don't need all of it for now. So let's copy that, and we don't even really need that one right now. So we need to do class search results and that would be filter results by fast food okay. So we got breaking news from so Eclore said that that's a drawback of it. The idea of the page object is designed only to store the locators and values. The method can't have any arguments aside from self. Okay. I see what you're saying. All right, that's cool. I could probably figure something else out with that. So I'll give you some context of what I was looking to do. Oops, that's not what I'm doing. Hold on. Move that so they can see what you said. So what I've done in the past, right? So I would have, and I do it now as well. And I do it in Python, but this is the way I started doing it in Java, right? I would have inside the page object model, I have listed out the selectors, but then I would also say like, okay, inside of this class, I can do the let's say entering the username and password, right? And clicking the button to submit it. And then now inside of the test case, I just say from the login page, login dot enter, like submit username and password, and then I just pass the parameters of the username and password. So then it just reduces the amount of code that's inside of the actual test case. It limits it to like, it's easier to read. But I see what you're saying. I could probably engineer something to still get it to work somewhat like that. But I'll look into it. I'll have to think about it a little bit more. And if I come up with anything, I'll definitely reach out to you and let you know if you're interested in it, like what I came up with. Because I see what you're saying. And I maybe can, I don't know. I have to think about it. But cool. I appreciate you giving me that feedback. Really helpful. Thank you so much. All right, cool. So with that being said, then let's just keep going, and we'll implement it that way. And then after thinking about it and using it a little bit more, getting some more comfort, then we can see what we can do. All right. So perfect. Really appreciate it. All right, so let's do this then. So I think I will skip through our next break that's coming up soon, so we can get a little bit. I think we can probably get this whole thing implemented inside of the page object model if we skip our next break. So let's do it. Okay, so we have here, and then it is return UI I dot, we're using XPath path, and then here, copy that XPath over. I mean, even though we currently have this limitation, I do think that the code itself is starting to look a lot better already. So if we go here and we say web.page, oh, before we do that, let me look at the documentation real quick to see once you got here. So you just, okay, so you just change the web.page. So here's homepage, and then now you change it to login page. So what I've normally done is not reuse these, like have one for like login for home, but we'll go with this for now. And then as I play with this a little bit more, I'll figure it out. I think there's a lot that can be done with this, and like just keeping the code clean and organized. That'll be helpful, but let's do it this way, and then I can, once I get more comfortable with it, I can do like a good analysis of like, okay, the way that I would want my code to be structured, how can I implement this into that? So yeah, okay, cool. No worries at all. No worries at all. Okay. So we're here. So we have that. What we're going to do is we're going to do homepage equals, that is the search results, and then we're going to import the search results, and then we're going to say web.page filter results by fast food click. So let's do 2 of them.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
And we are going to be working through lunch. Thank you very much. Put another 20 minutes. I think on the next time, the next countdown, that we are going to be done for tonight. And then we can definitely pick up, because I like this packet. I like this package. I'm just thinking of how I could implement it into the ways that I like to structure my code. And I think I think I can do something with it. So let's see. And we have nothing but time on our hands. So if I don't finish this today, I can definitely continue it the next week, and hopefully that we have Heyclor back with us again to give us any additional insight that they have on this. So really cool. All right, so we add that filter. So now the next thing we're going to do, we need another one now for the, okay, we're still on the search results, so we're good. So let's say we're still on this page. We need I just call it. I just do it first restaurant. So like what I would want to do, let's say I was automating it like in a work environment, I would want to not limit it to the first restaurant. I might want to say choose a random restaurant from the list, right? So let's say we say calculate the count, how many restaurants that we find, and then do a random number between 0 or between 1 and the total amount, and choose that restaurant. So that way we can see make sure that any restaurant that's picked is working as expected. So And that's one of the ways that we engineer wins.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Yep, because all that matters is that we get the win. We don't want to limit ourselves to like only the first restaurant, because then what about any restaurant along the line? So that's something that we can enhance on in the future. So here we go. First restaurant, and we say self and return UI, and that's by CSS selector. And then we're going to take that CSS selector. I guess I gotta just okay. Paste it in there. Let me close this out too. I need that right now. So now we come back over here. I'm just going to just take out this whole front right here, and we're going to say web.page dot, and that would be, what did I, first restaurant. You see how much cleaner that is, right? Like we had all that code and it just gets compressed into this little bit right here. Let's run it right now. We don't want to go too far. And then, but it just looks so much cleaner already. Like even with what I wanted to do that we're not able to do right now, the code looks already so much cleaner just by implementing the page object model. It's the page object model is great. All right. It really cleans up, makes it more legible, because if you compare, let's say we compare this, right? Browser, find element, and then buy this code and then click, right? Versus where I can say, I'm saying web, on the web page, filter the results by fast food and click it, right? And now, like, if I want it to be even more readable, what I would want to say is, let's say we have web page filter results. So let's say fast food filter. Let's say fast food in filter, right? So now, because it doesn't really make sense. Web page filter results by fast food click. It's more readable by web page fast food in filter click, right? So cool. And then here, web page first restaurant click, right? Cool, perfect. So now we land on the restaurant page. So let's create a new one. And by the way, like when you see my mouse like get big like that, I hate it. Like I fixed it on my my work computer, but I forgot, I didn't get a chance to fix it, like to change it on this computer, and it just drives me crazy every time it goes big like that. Oh my god, that's so annoying. I'm going to definitely fix that after this show. So here we are. Let's create another one. And I love the organization that we're able to get when we're using the page object model. So we are going to call this restaurant, or a selected restaurant. Let's just call it restaurant. All right, so we add that, and let's copy this over, and we're going to call that restaurant details. I think that's good. And we're going to say restaurant name, and we go with that. And that one is just, I think we'll just main. So return UI I think it was just main H1. I don't like that. Like at the time I was doing it, that made perfect sense. But now that I come back, like that's a terrible selector, just main.h1. Because that could probably exist on the that probably exists on the search results page as well. So that was dumb on my part. I don't have my stupid soundbite yet, but I'm gonna get it. So whatever. Okay, let's go to now. Let's update it. So let's move this over here. So let's update it in here. We're going to say, yeah, I'm not. That's the one thing I'm not a fan of is having to like, because now if I want to do something in the login page, which I guess I wouldn't, or in the search results page, which I guess you wouldn't need to. You wouldn't need to at this point, and you can always assign it back. But I just like having them their own separate instantiations. But let's see. Don't mind me. All right, restaurant details. And there should be a keyboard shortcut to what all right, so that is what key is that? That's the option key, shift key, and enter. What's the option? So let me see if I can do this. Ah, look at that. So on a Windows keyboard, it's shift, alt, enter. Okay, cool. Now I know. There's no need to use time.sleep. Come on. There's no need. So Heclor says, by the way, there's no need to use time.sleep as it's already using WebDriver wait. It will wait and execute the next command if the element exists or is enabled. Cool. Yeah, so when I had put the time.sleep, that was when I was doing it in the basic way, but let me take them out. You know? That's a good test as well, because sometimes even though like you have the WebDriver wait, you'll have like I've had like issues like with page loading times, where it'll try to click on something before but it's like overlapped or something like that. But let's give it a try without it, because like like you said, like when I did it, I didn't have like much WebDriver waits or anything like that. But since it's part of the of Citronella, then let's give it a try. Like that's no big deal at all. Let's make sure that it goes through and everything like that. So restaurant name. Can I do that? Oh, this is interesting. Let me see if I can do that. So if I do, this would be interesting. Let's see what happens with this. I'm curious. Web.page. And then restaurant name dot. Okay, so let's try that. Restaurant name. Let me look at the documentation real quick for one thing. So sleep, ready state, WebDriver page. Okay, so that should still be fine. Okay. Wait, so there's some person. Get elements, get element. Okay, that's cool. Let's see what happens. Because I can always do it the other way. I'm just curious to see if I do it like that, if it will assign this here. It's out of curiosity. Give it a run, and if not, I can always change it back. So let's give it a run. Let's see if it gets through that. Okay. So far, so good. Let's see. Let's see what our error is. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. So timeout exception. Let me see where at. So that's what I was referring to. Like sometimes it tries to click on them too fast. I'm gonna put the time dot sleep just for now, right in between here. And let's see how it forms. Yeah, that's what I was like. Although the Selenium is weird that way. Like when handling the browser, although we have those wait times and the like the WebDriver waits, it doesn't always work because of how a website is built, where it can load the information in the background. But like for instance, when it's like you just saw here when it was changing the so yeah, like when it's like doing some type of, I don't know if it's like Ajax or some type of change, right? Like where it's loading something, it might have the element in the background, but it doesn't. It can't click on it, so it's weird like that. But no biggie. All right, so is displayed web attribute web UI object has no attribute. Okay, that's what I was checking. That's what I wanted to see. So no big deal. So what we're going to do is got 5 minutes left for tonight. And then we'll pick this up. We'll definitely pick this up next week. I do want to finish this. I'm not going to abandon it like halfway through, but I wanted to see if let's see what this was going to do. So let me see if there's anything in the documentation, or if so. What I want to do, hey Claire, what I want to do is say if I want to make sure that the H1 is displayed. I think I saw it. I think I saw something similar to that in here. Let me see. Web. Let's see here. ID. Okay. Input.send keys. Oh. Oh. Let me. I'll try this next time, but this looks interesting. I think I might have missed something a little bit. So content page, and then you do homepage, auth button. Oh, I think that's what I was referring to about. So I could use content page and then pull these up like that. That might work. Because then you just need to have one of them. I was looking at over here. That's for the lazy loading one. Okay. I see. All right. I'll probably revisit that. But for the time being, what I want to do is displayed, but they say that it's not a. Let me see. Is there anything in here that I can? Let's see. Page. locate. Let's see. Let me see. Maybe is my code wrong? Maybe my code is wrong. I don't know. Let me see. So Python Selenium is displayed. No, that's what it is. It says displayed returns true. So that should have worked in here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to see if I just use this, which shouldn't work. These two should be the same. So this should not work. But restaurant name. It's just I had seen a get element in here. Let me see something. Oh, maybe that's what it is. Let me see. Get element. So similar as input and return. Get element, get elements. Locate, web locate. So that's if you're doing it in, okay, so that's not what we need. Oh. I can follow up with that. So, because this is important to get the is displayed. So I want to make sure. So let's give it a run. Let's see what happens. We're able to search. It probably when we removed the wait time, it probably failed because of it needs to get that that little pop up thingy before it clicks on the button. All right. On the arrow to search. All right. So search web page. Restaurant name error. Web UI object has no attribute is displayed. So let's see if we can find the web.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
All right, we are going to be wrapping it up in a little bit. Web UI object. What is the web UI object? Oh, I know what that is. That is in here. Then, all right, here we go. Let's see. The next method arg is the Citronella UI. Yeah. So Heclar says the next method arg is the Citronella UI, Citronella web UI part, like clicks and keys, get element, etc. Okay. So if I wanted to get the if I wanted to get is displayed, where because I'm going to do is displayed, I'm saying that there's no attribute for it. Is there another way of getting that attribute? I was in the process of yeah, all right. I was in the process of checking in here to see if I can I think it would work. No biggie. We can talk about that independently. Because it is 9:20 over here in South Florida, and we are going to be wrapping it up. But yeah. So leave me a comment when you get a chance, because what I wanted to do is, which I'll research some more. But what I really wanted to do was, let me close these out. What I really wanted to do was in here for the page title, I wanted to verify that it was displayed. So everything is working. It gets all the way here, but it just might be something I'm missing in syntax, because with the regular Selenium, I just do is displayed, but it might be calling it a little bit differently. So, but I'll keep looking into it. If you can drop me a comment when you have a chance to let me know if there's a way to do it. If not, then I can always try to find another way of doing it. But I really like this package and the work that you did on it, Heclor. So really cool. Let me transition back. So all right. So one more time for the Citronella package, and I think it's amazing that we have the author of the package with us tonight as we were exploring the package. So it was great. So I think we did a great job. We got pretty far, and I think we can pick this up next week, where we will we'll finish implementing it, and yeah, I think we can finish implementing next week. We don't have that much to go, but I think this one right here, making sure that we figure out how to do an assertion for is displayed, is very important. Might just be the way that I'm doing it using the Citronella package that I'm not aware of. But I'll look into that a little bit more, and we can definitely go from there. So where we're going from here, I wanted to thank everyone who was following along, everyone who's going to be watching this in the future. Wanted to give a special thanks to Heclor for the amazing work that you've done on the Citronella package, and I think the name of the package is great as well. I'll follow up. If you can leave me a comment as well, like how did you come up with the name Citronella? I think that's a really cool name. So when you left the comment and I read Citronella Page Object Model package, I'm like, how does that relate? So anyways, I'm going to leave you guys with that. If you haven't already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment. If there's anything that you'd like to see, any feedback, everything is welcomed. Next live show is Sunday. We are going to be continuing with our implementation of Selenium Wire and we're going to do it on AWS Device Farm. Last Sunday, we got it to work on an EC2 instance with Docker installed, and the Sunday before that, we got it to work locally on our local machines with Docker. So this is all using the remote driver, which we had so much trouble from our first live stream to get it to work, and now we are on our way with it. Oh, hold on one second. So try to comment multiple times. We can't send. All right, we'll chat. If anything, send me email or email you. I'll get in touch with you. Don't worry about it. We are good to go. But yeah, like I was saying, great stuff tonight. Really appreciate it. So Sunday we're going to be doing the AWS Device Farm with Selenium Wire, and then on Tuesday we have another Q&A session, and then we will be back next week to finish this, and hopefully we can have Heclor with us again to help us as we go through this amazing Python package that he created for Selenium. And I'd love to see innovation for automation that makes all of the lives of us easier. And it's crucial that we have good automation practices, because as QA, we are the last line of defense for our projects, for our employers, for ourselves. So great job. And we are going to complete it tonight. So, and the brain, I want to say that we did take over the world tonight. So,
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
and on that note, my friends, until next time.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Okay, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.